Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy Numbskull, and today we're diving into something that's probably sitting in your kitchen spice rack right now, nutmeg. But we're not giving a direct trip report or talking about sprinkling it on your eggnog. We're getting into the real science behind its pharmacology, especially the main psychoactive compound within, myristicin. I'll keep this accurate based on scientific studies because the last thing I want is to spread bad info. I would never, ever, under any circumstances, lead you all wrong. And for legal reasons, remember, this is for educational purposes only. Nutmeg in large amounts can be somewhat risky, so I'm not advising you try this at home, of course. Without further ado, let's get into it. First off, what is nutmeg? It's the seed from the Myristica fragrans tree, native to Indonesia but grown in tropical areas worldwide. It's been used as a spice for centuries, adding that warm, nutty flavor to foods. But in traditional medicine, it's also been used for things like digestive issues, pain relief, and even as a mild sedative. The interesting part? In high doses, it has psychoactive effects, mostly due to its essential oils. Nutmeg contains about 5 to 15% essential oil by weight. The main active compound we're focusing on is myristicin, which makes up roughly 4 to 8.5% of that oil, or about 0.2 to 1.3% of the whole raw nutmeg seed. Myristicin is a type of molecule called a phenylpropene or allylbenzene. It's not unique to nutmeg. I mean, you'll find smaller amounts in parsley, dill, carrots, and even some peppers. Other compounds in nutmeg include elemicin and safrole, which might contribute to effects, but myristicin, it's the star player for the spice in question's psychoactiveness. Now let's break down the pharmacology, or how myristicin works in the body. When you ingest nutmeg, myristicin gets absorbed and metabolized mainly in the liver by enzymes called cytochrome P450 or CYP enzymes. One key pathway turns myristicin into 3-methoxy-4 5-methylene dioxyamphetamine, or MMDA for short. MMDA is structurally similar to MDMA, or Molly, and amphetamines, which explains some of the stimulant and hallucinogenic effects. Studies suggest this conversion happens via enzymes like CYP1A2 and CYP3A4. Myristicin itself is a weak inhibitor of monoamine oxidase, or MAO, an enzyme that breaks down neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. By weakly blocking MAO, it might let these chemicals build up a bit, contributing to mood changes or euphoria. It also inhibits some CYP450 enzymes, which can affect how the body processes other substances, including hormones or toxins. On top of that, research shows myristicin can interact with the endocannabinoid system by inhibiting an enzyme called fatty acidamide hydrolase, or FAAH, which breaks down endocannabinoids like anandamide. This might explain why some effects feel a bit cannabis-like, kind of like you're on edibles. But myristicin isn't all about highs. Lab studies highlight potential therapeutic uses. For example, it has antioxidant properties, boosting enzymes like catalase and superoxide dismutase to fight oxidative stress. It's shown anti-inflammatory effects by blocking things like COX2 enzymes and reducing cytokines like TNF-alpha and interleukins. In test tubes and animal models, it's been antimicrobial against bacteria like E. coli and fungi like Aspergillus, and even insecticidal against pests like mosquitoes. Some research points to anti-proliferative effects, meaning it might slow cancer cell growth by introducing apoptosis. I can't speak, guys, my bad. Or program cell death, in lines like leukemia or lung cancer cells. There's even evidence for neuroprotective effects, like protecting neurons from hypoxia or reducing seizures in rat models. However, these are mostly from extracts or isolated compounds in labs, not proven in human clinical trials for medical use. Okay, now the effects if someone were to ingest a lot of nutmeg. Again, I'm not recommending that you do this. Recreational doses are reported as 5 to 30 grams of ground nutmeg, which could contain 100 to 400 milligrams of myristicin or more, depending on the batch. The effects kick in slowly, about 3 to 8 hours after eating it, because it has to be digested and metabolized. At lower doses, you might get mild euphoria, giddiness, or a sense of stimulation, while higher doses can lead to hallucinations, visual distortions, time disorientation, dissociation, and even delirium-like experiences, kind of like Benadryl, where reality feels warped. Think walls breathing or feeling like you're floating. But it's not all fun. The come up can be rough, with nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, dry mouth, and headaches being super common. Cardiovascular effects include tachycardia or fast heart rate, hypertension or hypotension, and flushing. Neurologically, you might experience dizziness, confusion, anxiety, paranoia, muscle spasms, or in severe cases, seizures. Effects can peak for 9 to 12 hours and linger for 12 to 72 hours total, with after effects like fatigue lasting days. Why the bad stuff? Partly because myristicin has anticholinergic properties, like I said, similar to diphenhydramine or similar to drugs that block acetylcholine, leading to things like blurred vision, dry mouth, and confusion. It can also cause some pretty severe dehydration, which, of course, worsens all of the other symptoms. On the toxicity side, nutmeg poisoning is real. Symptoms mimic anticholinergic overdose, and while most cases resolve in a day or two, severe ones can involve shock, coma, or even death, though fatalities are rare and usually involve massive dosages or combinations with other substances. For example, there is a documented case of an 8-year-old dying after eating 2 whole nutmegs, and others with infants or adults experiencing seizures or agitation after just 10 to 28 grams. Myristicin can be neurotoxic at high levels, damaging cells via apoptosis pathways, and its metabolites might form high levels, damaging cells via... My bad, my script, Dog's barking, my bad, alright. Let's just restart. Myristicin can be neurotoxic at high levels, damaging cells via apoptosis pathways, and its metabolites might form reactive compounds that stress the liver. It interacts badly with MAO inhibitors, SSRIs, stimulants, alcohol, or other depressants, potentially causing serotonin syndrome or respiratory issues. If you're on meds, especially antidepressants, steer clear. In summary, nutmeg and myristicin are fascinating from a pharmacological standpoint, a common spice with amphetamine-like metabolites, MAO inhibition, and potential therapeutic angles like anti-inflammation or antioxidants. But for some, the risks far outweigh any benefits for recreational use. It's legal as a spice everywhere, but abusing it, as with anything, isn't very smart or safe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is nutmeg. Thanks for watching, and if you learned something, hit that like button, subscribe for more weird stuff, and drop a comment letting me know if you have any experience with this unique substance. As always, stay safe out there, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace!